Hey, all right, welcome back, and this is my full review of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. If you want to see my review without spoilers, because you haven't yet seen the movie, you can check that out right here. See, I'm getting fancy. I've got a little card right there. So this review right here is going to have spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, go watch the other review. So this isn't going to be a recap because I'm going to assume that you've seen the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was different. I thought it was a lot more introspective. I thought it had heart. I wasn't expecting them to start Indy off, current Indy, not flashback Indy, not the opening scene Indy. I wasn't expecting them to start him off being at a low moment. I guess possibly the lowest moment he's ever had in the character's life. When he was drinking for breakfast, I was wondering. I was like, why is he drinking? You know, he's living in a crappy apartment. Marion has either left him or he's left her, one or the other. You get the feeling that she left him because he's still wearing his wedding ring. And even Helen says that later on when they're talking on the boat, you know, when he's explaining what happened to Mutt. You know, she says, "You're still wearing your ring," which shows that she knows that he misses her, that he wants her back in his life. Otherwise, he'd take his ring off, you know. He would take his ring off. But yeah, he's at a low point. I wasn't expecting that. You know, when we last saw him in Crystal Skull, he was the associate dean, had a great job, had just gotten married, has a son, but he's lost his son, he's lost his wife, he's lost his job. And I've only seen the movie once, and that was yesterday. So this is fresh. This is a fresh review. My thoughts may change, as thoughts do, but the end of the movie, I was really surprised. When he wanted to stay, it made sense to me that he wanted to stay. When I was watching it, I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. There's nothing left for him. There's nothing left for him back home. There's nothing left for him in his present. Because of all that he's lost, you know, because he's lost his dad, Marcus, Marion, Mutt, his job, because he's got a crappy job. You could tell there's no joy in his job. The only joy that he had in his job was when Helen was answering his questions, and you saw a flicker of the joy that he would have for his job as a professor. He even gave his clock away. You know, he'd worked there for 10 years, and he gave his clock, his present. He gave it away. And we knew that this was going to be a movie about time. I mean, with sympathy for the devil, you know, the devil, the character in that song, goes through time, talks about time. So we knew that this was going to be about time. Oh yeah, back to the ending. I thought it made sense that he wanted to stay because there was nothing for him. The past was the only thing that he had left, that he had any kind of emotional attachment to. But thank goodness that Helen punched him out. And a lot of people are like, you know, that wasn't his choice. No, she took that choice away from him. However, he had been shot. He's at the lowest point in his life. So it's one of those moments where you can't see the forest for the trees, is really how I'm taking it. He can't see because he believes that Marion doesn't want to see him anymore. He's just despondent. He's dejected. And that is one of the great things about Indiana Jones. We've seen him physically be beat down, and we've seen him make mistakes in his other movies, but we've never really seen him give up. And this character has given up. You know, he's drinking, he's turning to alcohol. And, you know, we saw him turn to alcohol when he thought Marion died in Raiders. The first thing we see him do is he's sitting at a bar drinking. He's getting wasted. And I know that Spielberg and Lucas, one of them wanted to make him an alcoholic from the beginning. And then the other one, I guess it was Spielberg, said, no, let's not do that. So I know all that. But they didn't make him that in the movies. You know, he wasn't an alcoholic in the movies until this movie. Well, I won't say he's an alcoholic, but he's definitely got a problem. He's drowning his sorrows, and he's running away. At the very end of the movie, he's finally running away. He's staying in the past. He's just going to run away. And Helen won't let him. And she and Sala, as far as we can tell, is the only connection that he has. I mean, even the people that he spent the previous 10 years of his life with, they've been shot. They're dead. We saw that, you know, the CIA killed them. So she is the only connection. She and Sala are the only connections, and she has turned on him for the most of the movie. I mean, she turned around, did a 180 toward the end there. She, you know, realized how much he meant to her, and we saw that in the flashback to where she brought him his hat, and you know, when he was taking care of her dad, and he took the Antikythera device. But she and Indy, Helen and Indy talking on the boat, when she realizes, you know, because he's wearing his ring, she knows that he wants her back. And, you know, it doesn't explain how that all played out. He just wakes up, and Helen's there in his apartment. She's been taking care of him. And then we find out Marion's been taking care of him. And, you know, he told Helen, he said, you should have left me there. Because who did he have to come back to? As far as he knew, nobody. As far as he knew, Marion wanted to have nothing to do with him. But then we see she's back. And in the course of their conversation, apparently he's back. After the death of a child, that's a horrible thing, the death of a child. And most couples don't recover from that. It's amazing the ones that do. So we don't know exactly what broke them up, but it was probably on both of them, on him and her. One of them probably wanted more understanding from the other one, and the other one probably wanted to be more left alone, because generally that's what happens. You know, communication is key. Communication throughout your whole life is key. It's hard to have over communication, especially in relationships. You know, to those that you love, tell them you love them. Tell them you love them as often as you can, because you don't know. You don't know when you're going to take your last breath. You don't know when they're going to take their last breath. And not just say that you love them, but show them that you love them. Anyway, there was something else. Oh, his motivation. I saw somebody say something like his lack of motivation for even going on the mission, taking this journey. Well, his motivation was to clear his name. And I think another part of his motivation was that, you know, Helen is the daughter of his buddy. I know he hasn't seen her in 10 years or however long, but she is the daughter of his buddy. That's another connection that he's trying to, I mean, it's unspoken, but I believe that that's another connection that he's trying to hold on to, because he's lost so much. This is a man who's lost most of the people in his life that he's cared about, and even some acquaintances that he's cared about. So Marion asked him, you know, are you back? And so that implies that he also, you know, she may have kicked him out or whatever. I assume she's the one that got the house, because they had a house. He had a good job. He's living in the crappy apartment. I'm assuming that she's the one that he left. Whether he left because she told him to leave, or whether he left of his own accord, he left. He does have this picture of her on his refrigerator, and he does have his wedding ring on, which says that he misses her, that he wants her back in his life. And the end scene showed that, and I love that they did that. The callback to Raiders on the Bantu Wind, that was really good. That was really an emotional moment, to show that they were both willing to move past it, that they both loved each other, and that they're both ready to spend the rest of their lives together and enjoy it. And I think another part that showed that they were willing to enjoy it is when one of them grabs the hat at the very last moment of the movie. I don't know who it was, I couldn't tell, but one of them grabbed the hat. So he's back and she's back, and they both care for each other. Sala is in the picture, you know, so he's got a friend. He has a daughter in Helen. So I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. I didn't think that Helen's character was overbearing. I thought she was a knucklehead. I thought she was a turd. I thought that she was kind of like he was in Temple of Doom. She even had her own little short round. And we all know that, you know, Indy's most growth so far in the film series came out of Temple of Doom. Fortune and glory. And that's what she was after, was fortune and glory. Greed. Everything else be damned. You know, fortune and glory. So that's how she was. Is how he was in Temple of Doom. She grew mainly when Indy was mortally wounded. I mean, he got shot right here, right above his heart. She realized who he was to her. And so she had her growth. I thought the CIA, the agent, the CIA agent, Mason, I think was her name. I do think she was kind of a wasted character, because I would have liked to have seen more of her. She was CIA. She was a good guy. She cared for him. She told him that nobody was going to hurt him at the beginning of the movie. Talking about Indy, nobody's going to hurt him. He rightly didn't believe her, because the two guys were clearly out to get him. So I really hate that they dispatched her so fast. We could have used more of that, especially seeing as how he was built around the James Bond character. She was his Felix. She could have been his Felix. I thought Mads Mikkelsen did a great job. He always does a good job. Playing a good guy or a bad guy, he does a great job. He can be creepy and he can be fatherly. He's, which is surprising after watching Casino Royale, that in Rogue One, I was surprised that I really liked his character and the way he portrayed him. And he did a good job with this. He did a real good job with this. The goons were good. Really, I mean, the smaller of the goons, I don't know their names, but the smaller of the goons, man, you just don't like him. Just don't like him at all. Sala, it was really good to see Sala. It was good to see him in the final scene. Marion, I got choked up. Got choked up when I saw Marion. I was like, oh, she's back. And that gave Indy, something to live for. Because previously he really had nothing to live for. He was done. And this movie, played up on him being done mentally. In the previous, it's easier to get back up when you're done physically. You get hurt, you can pick up, you can brush yourself off, you can rub some dirt on it, and you can keep on going. But mentally, when you have a broken heart, that's when it's hard. That's when it's hard to get back up from a broken heart. And that's what he had. This is a man who starts off on his journey with a broken heart. And that's what surprised me, is that that's how they started the journey. But you know what? I'm glad they did, because it added a lot more depth to the character. It made him a lot more relatable to the Joe Schmoes in life, who've made mistakes in their life, who find it hard to pick yourself back up when you have an emotional beatdown. It is a lot easier to get back up from a physical altercation than mending a broken heart. So I really was happy with the movie. It surprised me. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it by watching it, but walking out of the theater, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was well done. Okay, and I guess that's it. Well, all right, in the comments, let me know what you thought. Let me know how you felt about the movie. Let me know if you didn't like it. Let me know if you did like it. Was it a political movie? Yes. He's punching Nazis. How can you not be political about that? All right, well, anyway. Okay, well, it's Sunday. Independence Day is coming up. Happy 4th of July to you. I'll probably post something for the 4th of July. Something to do with flags. Maybe something to do with history. I don't know. But anyway, okay. I hope you enjoyed the movie, because it's Indy, you know, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Well, until I see you again, y'all have a wonderful day, and God bless.